In 10th grade, I was the new kid. Again. First day of school, first period. Band class. I remember walking in the room. I sat down, I took my chair, and when I looked up, there she was. The most kindest, beautiful thing I'd ever seen in my entire life. And when she looked up at me, I saw those green eyes for the first time, and I just melted. But there was no way this most beautiful girl could ever want this guy. I mean, it was love at first sight for me, and I knew she was the one. But there's no way she'd want this loser. When I was sitting there in the band room, my thoughts went right back to that day on the playground in 6th grade when Jerry walked right up to me and he said, "Hey, Jew boy, where's your horn?" That was the moment I felt different. Less than. A loser. How could this girl ever want a loser like me? I mean, look at me. I was born with this dad bod. Like my new ab? This is recent. Wait, I know. I know if I were able to go out and chase money, make lots of it, then I could buy this girl whatever she wants. Then I'd be her hero. And if I was this girl's hero, guess what I'd never be again? A loser. That was it. So where am I going to go if I want to go make tons of money? I know. Let's go to Wall Street. That's where you go when you want to make a ton of money. And off to Wall Street I went. By 33 years old, I made it. I got to the top of the mountain. That girl, Amy, she married me at 25. We had 2 beautiful boys, had this incredible home with fruit trees in my backyard, a lifestyle that I only dreamed of having if I could only go chase hard enough. We could buy anything we wanted, we could do anything we want, we could experience anything we wanted. But yet, every time I bought something, did something, experienced something, it would feel good for like a minute, and then something just wouldn't feel right. Now, let me be perfectly impossible to misunderstand. This girl, Amy, she didn't ask me for any of this. This was not what she wanted from me, but this is what inside of my crazy head I felt I had to give her because I'm such a loser. You see, I had this feeling. I mean, I knew we were spending money like it was growing on a tree in our backyard. And if I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, I wasn't just trying to keep up with the Joneses. I wanted to be Mr. Jones. I was Mr. Jones. Have you ever looked in your bank account and wondered where all your money went? That was me. Now, you wouldn't have known this about me by looking at me on the outside. I was a corporate rock star. Not only did we have this incredible life, but my position within financial services, I was the keynote speaker for one of the largest financial institutions on planet Earth. And yet I had no idea where my money went every month. Somehow this seemed to work for us, month in and month out, but inside that ache just continued to grow. It was July 2005, 1 week into our month, and my bank account was overdrawn by $210. My credit cards, 3 of them, all maxed out. Wait a minute. This can't be happening. How's Amy going to take the boys to Sunsplash this weekend? While she's at Sunsplash, I'm supposed to be in San Diego speaking at this huge conference in front of lots of people who are counting on me. How do I go to San Diego? How do we buy groceries? How do I go in there and tell the most beautiful, kindest thing I had ever met? We're broke. I'm broken. I got to think about this. Oh boy, this can't be happening. Car, let's go. And that's what I did. I jumped in my car and I shot like a cannon up this 2-lane highway that just went on for days by my house. Oh, you idiot. What did you do? I can't believe you let them down like this, you loser. I hate you. I looked up in my rearview mirror. All I could see looking back at me was my big fat company-paid life insurance policy. And that was the moment that I knew Amy, Miles, and Lucas would be better off with that than with this. That big rig's getting close. All I need to do is turn my wheel a little bit to the left, and this all goes away. I'm so grateful I didn't turn the wheel that day and that my hands froze on the wheel. I'm also really, really grateful for this stranger that I had just met a couple of weeks before that. This guy named Jim. He was a financial advisor. I knew at this point I needed help, but I couldn't tell anybody my truth. I was a rock star on the outside. If I told my truth, I'd be ruined. But there was something okay about going to this stranger, someone I barely knew. I walked into Jim's confessional that day, and what felt like hours telling him the story I just shared with you, and everything that led up to it. I waited, I kind of covered up, right? I was waiting for the, oh my, this is what you should have done, you could have done, right? That carrot grater that I was waiting to come out and tell me all the things I did wrong. But that's not what happened. Jim looked at me and he said, let me make sure I heard you right. You chase money to get the girl so you wouldn't feel like a loser anymore. Did I get that right? Yeah. Wow. That had to be hard, living that way. I'm so sorry you went through that experience. What's going on here? What's this guy doing? I had never felt this before from another man, but it was different and it felt safe. Jim said to me, hey, can I make a suggestion? An observation, something to think about. It seems to me like you've got these three kind of complicated relationships in your life. You've got this relationship with money, you've got this relationship with your people, and oh my, this relationship you have with yourself is a mess. But you know what? You were really close. What if we just reimagined for a minute, taking the sequence with how you were living your life and reversed it? What if instead of chasing money to get the girl so you wouldn't feel like a loser, we started first with that elusive relationship with self, where somehow you could learn to look in the mirror and not see a loser, where you could see somebody that you had unconditional acceptance for. If you were able to do that for yourself, could you then give Amy and the boys what it is they really want from you? And if you were able to do that, might it make your relationship with money a little simpler? Now, because Jim did something different for me that day, different from what I expected, he showed me empathy, he showed me compassion. And by doing that, he created this safe place for me to actually consider something that wasn't natural to me. This went against everything I ever knew, but I considered it. Up here, it made sense. But how am I going to work on myself first, this loser, if all I believe is he's a loser? This is where Jim introduced me to the most important investment I could ever make in my life. The best investment I ever made is me. Jim talked to me about making me my most valuable asset by investing in me. But the problem was, I wasn't worthy. There was no way I was going to change my thinking into believing I was worthy. So Jim's very first suggestion to me was, let's not try to change your thinking and get you to think your way into believing this. Let's act your way into believing it. Jim's very first suggestion to me was to go home, take Amy's least favorite lipstick color, and on my bathroom mirror write these three statements. I love you, I'm proud of you, and I believe in you. And my suggestion is you read those three statements every morning and every night. This is how willing and desperate I was. Because that's really uncomfortable, right? To read something to myself that I don't believe. This is what it looked like the first day. I love you, I'm proud of you, I believe in you. right? But I got it out. I did it. And I did it again the second day. And I did it again the third day. And eventually it got wiped away. So I'd put it up there again. It'd get wiped away. Finally, I put it on my smartphone so it could be with me all the time. And something started to happen over time, where as I read this every day, the mood would change. I'd feel a little lighter. I'd find myself smiling as I read these things to myself. And ultimately, I started to believe it. Wow, I believed I was worthy of being my best investment. You know, they say when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Holy cow, did the teacher start appearing at this point in my life. The next teacher who showed up, good friend of mine, we've since become great friends, and what he had suggested to me was that I needed a fourth relationship in my life. If I were going to truly lose the loser, meaning when I looked in that mirror, I was no longer going to see a loser ever again, which was going to give me the ability to grow this incredible true wealth in my life, required me to create a fourth relationship, a very intimate relationship with the word no. Guys, I'm a yes man. I don't know if you've picked up on that or not, but it's important that you like me. So if you ask me to do something, if you ask for a favor, you ask me to volunteer for something, I'm going to say yes. It's how I'm hardwired. Because if you like me, by me saying yes, I'll feel like less of a loser. So this went against everything that was natural to me. But this is how willing and desperate I was. I was willing to do something different. God, what does it look like to say no? I got to start with something easy. I know. No more fast food. I can do that. And by starting simply like that, by saying no to fast food, the very first time I actually said no to fast food, I developed some confidence. So my list began to expand. This is what saying no looked like to me. It had to be visual. It had to be written down. It had to be something I could see. No more fast food became no more alcohol, no more national news, no more complaining, no more comparison, no more gossip, no more negative self-talk inside this head, no more surrounding myself with people who suck the life out of me. By saying no to all these things that were killing me, that were destroying me, it allowed me to say yes to the things that were helping me to thrive, helping me to feel alive, helping me feel like I'm not a loser, like I could stand up tall, helping me feel wealthy. I started eating better. I started drinking more water. I started exercising. I hate exercise, but I fell in love with this game, tennis. Did you know tennis, this game, is exercise? I didn't know that. And what it also gave me permission to do was because I was saying no to these things that were killing me, I was able to use my financial resources towards the things now that were helping me thrive. I was investing in me for the first time. You know, by not feeling this way, by not feeling like a loser for the first time in my life, I didn't need to be Amy's hero anymore. I didn't need to be anybody's hero anymore. I just wanted to be with them. It was really cool to see how just not feeling like a loser, by having some unconditional acceptance of myself, that the world around me started to heal, my relationships at home started to heal. As I began to change, the world around me began to change. It was pretty cool seeing my family get a return on the investment I was making in myself. Remember that prediction that Jim had about my money relationship? He was right, it came true. My relationship with money got a lot simpler than it used to be. I mean, let's face it, there's only 3 things we can do with our money, right? We can spend it, we can save it, we can invest it. But because I've gotten super clear on the people, the places, and the experiences that really mean the most to me, and I've aligned my financial resources with those now, that kind of clarity in my life, that's what I like to call having financial sobriety. Boy, those 3 things that we can do with our money. I try to live by some very basic principles when one of those 3 things are happening. Let me give you some examples. Spending. I love spending. I especially love spending when I'm feeling hungry, angry, lonely, tired, sad, anxious, afraid, pumped up, excited. Sometimes I just feel like I deserve it. Impulse spending is my drug of choice. But you see, I have a new tool I use now. It's called 10-10-10. Every time I go play tennis and I walk through that tennis shop, I got these anxiety pangs inside of me about my match, and I could very quickly get distracted by a new piece of equipment. But instead of going and buying that piece of equipment to get rid of this anxiety, 10-10-10 rings in my head, which is the 10 minutes that I need to just be with that feeling. I can do anything for 10 minutes. And by working through that feeling for 10 minutes, guess what happens? The feeling softens. It goes away. It's temporary. And I just saved myself 50 or 60 bucks. When it comes to saving, my favorite principle is called pay yourself first. Like most of us here today, we get paid to do a job. Money comes into our bank account. Who gets paid first? Your creditors? Your mortgage company? The gas company? I get paid first. 10% right off the top of every deposit goes right into a savings account, and then everybody else gets paid next. Because my favorite investing principle is all about investing in me. I am my best investment. I use that savings to invest in me, to invest in Amy, to invest in our boys. Why? Because we are responsible for creating our own wealth in this world. Nobody else is going to do it for us. We all have a unique ability. And it's our obligation to go out and become the very best in the world at whatever that is, and then go give it away. That's how we create true wealth. I was at the very bottom of the financial food chain at one point in my life. I was at the very top. Right now, I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. But I feel wealthier than I've ever felt in my entire life. You see, that thing with Jerry back in 6th grade didn't happen to me. It happened for me. Nothing happens to us. Everything happens for us. True wealth starts with you. True wealth starts with unconditional love and acceptance of yourself, believing you're worth it, making you your most valuable asset, the best investment you could ever make. Are you ready to make that investment? Are you ready to find true wealth? Do you believe you're worthy? Maybe it starts with some lipstick and a bathroom mirror. Thanks.